never experienced something like that, and it's so great to actually see and face the community.
Nothing that Shopware does matters until and unless the community shows up.
Just call this an event is an understatement.
Good morning, and welcome everyone also from my side. Great to see you, and thanks for joining. This is our 14th Shopware Community Day, right? I mean, the 14th Shopware Community Day. And let me start by raising a question. Is here someone in the room who attended every single Shopware Community Day? Could you please stand up for a moment? Everyone, please stand up. Well, I mean, at minimum, you are with us since 14 years, right? Thanks for your engagement. Thanks for your activeness and your loyalty and trust. Well, one of the things I love most about the Shopware Community Day is the variety of people you can meet today. We have a lot of people here from different geographies. For example, from the US. Who of you is from the US? Can you please raise the hand? We have people here from the Benelux region. We have people here from Italy, from the Nordics. We have also people here from Asia. You can meet people from different industries. You know, brands, manufacturers, wholesalers, merchants, partners, also developers. So for me, it's all about the people. Here you can see now some pictures sliding in from former Shopware Community Days that took place here in this landscape area. And I think you can feel the passion and the spirit, the energy that is flowing through these buildings. A lot of Shopware history were written here in this area. So much memories, so much great achievements we had together. And as I founded the company 24 years ago, together with this lovely guy there, my brother, there was always one core belief that was very important for us, and this was the belief in openness. As you might think about, founding a company with his brother, you need to have trust, an honest and a transparent communication to start this business. And as it scaled, we always wanted to work with a group of people, of like-minded people who believe in openness, who share the same values as we do. Open, authentic, never lose the foot on the ground. Talk to people always on eye level, be visionary, challenge the status quo to become even better. Share ideas, and simply said, also having fun and impact by what we're doing. So, some of you would call it's the culture. Some of you would say, this is the huge network. Some of you say this is a community. For me, it's very simple. It's the we. We as one, all together for the better. One community. And what started 24 years ago with us both is nowadays really a global and open group of like-minded people, a global community. And we had a lot of exciting stuff today with us, so stay tuned, new updates, new features, everything to improve your efficiency and also to give you the toolings to innovate fast. And the whole day today is fully picked with a lot of exciting talks, as Heike just mentioned, right? So use the chance to learn, to improve, and also use this Shopware Community Day to connect. But now let's move on. That being said, for me, it's the power of the community. And the real power of a community is the interactivity and the engagement the community brings in. Because a community that isn't active doesn't really matter, right? And for example, yesterday, you could experience it very well. We had the tech day where people are very engaged and interactive, sharing new ideas, approaches, knowledge, get feedback, and so on. This is what makes it so important. This is what makes it so valuable for everyone. And the Shopware community is not only growing, it's incredibly active. So compared to last year, we see an increase of 47% over all channels. For example, in Slack, in GitHub, in our forum, or in Stack Overflow. What's really, really great to see. So if you missed, for example, yesterday, the tech day or something, or also you are now watching online, the live stream, no problem. You can also figure out by yourself, for example, if you're just joining the community in these channels. And then you can see people that are thankful for the contributions. Here from Sonar, for example, many, many thanks to every participant for every contribution. This was how we worked together to improve the technical documentation of Shopware, together with you. Or people who are looking for support. Hey everyone, I'm looking for an agency for a Shopware 6 extension. And people in the community are there to support you, to help you. Or if you have challenges with a piece of source code or whatever it might be, people will support you. This is what the community is about. And sometimes people just charming. That's also part of the culture, right, of the Shopware community. We have events for direct exchanges as well. So these are some pictures from our latest customer barcamp that took place in Cologne, where we are going with some of our customers into exchange, talking about their challenges, but also about new trends and features like spatial computing, for example. We had the partner advisory board, where we go into deep exchanges with our partners, shared learnings, insights, knowledge, also receiving feedback. Here are some pictures from the latest Shopware Partner Day in the US, where we had over 100 participants, what showed, at least for me, clearly the momentum we are building in the US. Overall, Shopware community is growing. What is great? We had a very impressive community growth by over 50% in the North American region. This is just a video from the Partner Day in the US. I really liked it, that's why I included it. But what is even more impressive for me is not only that people are joining Shopware in the community, again, that these people are getting more and more into it and active and engaged. And this is also what we can see and experience in the US. People have so much knowledge about. If you talk to these US people, also they are here today, you can figure out they have really experience in the product. They built the first project. They know how composable frontends are working and so on and so forth. This is what it is really about. People who have knowledge, sharing, and insight are active. Slack community is growing by 39%. Our very own feedback portal is also growing, right? 35%, it's the portal where we receive your feedback, also where you can vote for new features, for example, and so on and so on. So, I just want to take a moment in behalf of the complete Shopware crew to give you the credits and say thank you so much for all your contributions and all your passions you putting into this ecosystem and community. Thank you very much. We know this is only possible because of the Shopware community. So we love the community. This is the heartening beat of everything that drives further success and Shopware. So, that being said, let's use the Shopware Community Day to connect. Talk today to me, talk to my brother, talk to our crew we here, talk to your neighbor, start connecting, make new connections. This is all about learning, inspiration, and for sure, connection. And because of the community-driven motion, we see a vital and growing ecosystem that is evolving. And I was really bold to say, I think the Shopware ecosystem is one of the most mature ecosystems in the digital commerce landscape. We have 1,600 partners, over 4,000 extensions available, and it's evolving and growing continuously. And with Shopware, as you know, we are in an API first, in an open and composable world. This is what analysts would call it. We would say it's an open composability. And this open is very important for us, for Shopware. You can pick and compose what you like, and you can customize it to your specific business needs. So, I would like to highlight some recent integrations we have. PIMcore. PIMcore is the leading open source PIM provider. And also today here with us, you can figure out by yourself and reach out here at the booth, for example. PIMcore crew is here. So PIMcore and Shopware are both two partner-first-led companies. And with PIMcore and Shopware, you get the best of both worlds. Core commerce capabilities combined with PIM capabilities. It's a very, very strong and seamless experience. And I found it very impressive that if we combine the ecosystems together, we have a install base of over 130,000 merchants. This is very great network and community, I think, for everyone here, for partners, developers, but also for merchants and brands. And let me highlight PayPal. We have a long partnership with PayPal over decades. And PayPal is really more than just the button that every one of you knows very, very well, I know. It's an all-in-one checkout solution. You can also figure out by yourself today here in the Shopware space. We have the booth of PayPal here, and the people are here to show you what they have already integrated. Also here for the Shopware ecosystem. And just a few weeks ago, I was in San Jose in the Bay Area and visited them, and we're working closely together with their leadership team to make the latest innovations happen. We currently already integrated Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal Vaulting as 3 main features, and the new Quantum Leap initiatives coming very, very soon, I have to say, so stay tuned also in this category. And we have Channel Engine. Also, the Channel Engine crew is today here. You can reach out to them. So, Channel Engine and Shopware. We have a strategic partnership, and it's also very interesting for everyone who is looking forward to expand their business. With Channel Engine, you have a great integration and can have access to over 950 marketplaces, also in a lot of different geographies and countries. You should figure out more global expansions tools also to scale your business in this space, in this area. All right, global analysts are just recognizing Shopware. And we know this is only possible because we have such a strong ecosystem and a great community. Paradigm honored us with 9 medals. Just recently, Forrester included us in their wave for B2B as a contender. IDC named Shopware a major player, and Gartner named us a visionary. And I think this underscores not only that Shopware is, making good progress and is on the right track, but also that we're clearly setting the pace in the industry. And the pace and the growth of the ecosystem led to an incredible number of 22 billion GMV in 2023. 22 billion Euro GMV of 2023. It's a huge transaction volume that is going through the Shopware platform. And if we look back, just 4 years ago, 2020 wasn't that long ago, as you can see, it was a real, you can say, explosion of transaction volume GMV with more than 15 billion on top just after the pandemic. 15 billion on top just after the pandemic. But not just in the total numbers, we can see a really cool growth. So if we have a look and compared, our numbers with the HDE Online Monitor numbers, this is the graph you can see here. This is an average market growth of 11% in GMV. And this one is the Shopware graph development. So this means that Shopware merchants are growing faster than average in the market. Even in a year like 2020, where the market is slightly declined, Shopware merchants are continue to grow every single year. What is really, really cool to see and great. So the market average was about 11%, and the Shopware growth was 13%. So that means basically that Shopware merchants are growing 3 times faster. And this is also, reflected in a quote from iBusiness, who is saying, Shopware is clearly a rising star of the recent years. The EHY Institute just published the latest study about the top 1,000 shops, for example, in Germany. And they had Shopware the largest market share for the second time in a row. So number 1 in Germany for the top 1,000 shops. And we have the eMerse 100 magazine, very well known in the Netherlands region, where Shopware is the number 1 open source commerce platform with 5.5 stars. And this credibility we are becoming in the industry, we know this is only possible because we have such an engaged and active community. Otherwise, all the achievements wouldn't be possible. We know that. So let's have a look into the future market development. And despite all the macroeconomic challenges that everyone is clearly facing, the good news is we are in a growing market. Our market is growing. This is first of all good news. So if we have a look in different statistics, you can have a look at Statista, for example. This is my source right now. There is an estimation for further growth of roughly 12% in the US for 2025, and in Europe, at least roughly 9%. Apart from these geographies, there's one market segment that is estimated to have by far the largest growth in the future. What might it be? Guess what? Latin America. That's not the market segment I'm speaking about, not the geography. Do you get it? Sure, it's the B2B market. B2B, by 2030, we will see that the market growth has tripled by a year-over-year growth by 18%. It's estimated. And get this, most people, industry analysts and experts, assume that this forecast here is still very, very cautious. I mean, as we all know, technology, digitalization, just finding their way into the B2B space. So this is a huge potential for everyone in the Shopware ecosystem. And Shopware, as a platform and as an ecosystem, has a super strong value in the B2B space and a lot of years of experience in the mid-market space, in the B2B space. Over 60% of our commercial Shopware customers using B2B capabilities. As we see, a lot of merchants of you, brands and manufacturers, wholesalers, who are doing B2C business and B2B business together. So we see pure B2B companies starting their way and path and approach and getting into consumer-related business. For example, started a new vertical, a new business model with a direct-to-consumer approach, or adding B2C business, and the other way around, consumer businesses adding more and more B2B capabilities. So Shopware as a platform and the ecosystem, again, is for sophisticated B2C and B2B models. And this kind of blending, right, B2C and B2B in one technology, this is just happening since years. We see it in our numbers and data. But I think it's always important to understand that it's not just simply putting B2C into B2B or B2B into B2C. You need to have a strong heritage and you need to have a strong understanding how B2B works to blend the business models together and adapt these are really good customer experiences. So our experience and our exchange with you guys showed us and draws a clear picture. Mid-market don't want to buy from a lot of different systems, end up in a spaghetti mess, how my dear CPTO Mark would call it, also called it yesterday, right? You want to have a unified platform and experience for B2C and for B2B. And we're super proud of our customers. For example, in the B2B space, B2C space here, you can see customers like YT Industries, Stabilo, Rittersport are using Shopware. And we have a lot of hidden champions running on Shopware in the B2B space. Global market leaders using Shopware technology. Melag as a global market leader in medical instrumenting reprocessing. Schwalbe is Europe's market leader in bicycle tires. BayerRef, global market leader in HVAC solutions operating in over 45 countries. And a lot of more. Customers in nearly every vertical and industry and geography are using Shopware. Again, for blended business models, B2C and B2B with one technologies. Over 15,000 businesses running on Shopware. So, and your trust is the most important for us. As you know, Shopware is purpose-built for the mid-market. Or in Germany we would say Mittelstand, right? So mainly, big tech views the market in two camps and buckets. It's the enterprise camp and it's the small business bucket, right? And then they try to force brands into one of those camps. But the truth is, it was always the mid-market, the Mittelstand, always who made digital commerce great. I mean, this is where growth comes from. This is the backbone of our society and of our economy. This is where innovation happens. And this is also why we at Shopware decided to make it our purpose, mid-market merchants, to serve what felt in the market underserved, where a lot of complexity is, right? But where you have, you want to have the toolings of an enterprise space, but you don't have the budget for it. This is the mid-market, and it felt lost, and we made it our purpose. But also, as we all experienced together on the way of further scale and growth, there are a lot of challenges on the path, clearly. So some of them are quite clear, the challenging economics. And I don't want to get too much into detail. You all know that, right? The situation of margins getting shrunk due to the increasing cost situation of nearly everything around us, yes. Also sometimes probably we see less consumptions or at least more reserved investments, what could lead to a revenue gap. And on the other side, we have a very strong competition in the market. What we see is missing differentiation. You see same business models, same products. Sometimes you fell into the price and delivery trap. So, to get out of this red ocean situation, there's, at least in my view, only one thing that really, really matters. And this is the understanding of your customers and your customers' needs and behavior, so that you can adapt to this behavior, get the relevance, and at least you are able to exceed the expectations. This is the game we're all playing. Adapt to the customer behavior, the faster the better, in the right way. And understanding how the market is going, understanding how your customer is doing. Yeah, and the truth is, as easy as it sounds, it isn't easy, right? I mean, looking back now, just 20 years ago, it was a little bit more easy. Nowadays, this journey and to adapt to the customer behaviors is becoming more complex, as you need to make a lot of choices. We all know that, right? For example, by your business model. be it subscription commerce, be it live shopping, be it a re-commerce, mass customization, is it omni-channel approach, B2B together with B2C blended, adding gamified elements right now, or new features and channels that are recently also coming into your geography, be it TikTok Shop, for example, payment and shipping. Are you using already Buy Now, Pay Later? Do you do instant payment, same-day delivery, Apple Pay, right? We know this is becoming very, very complex. And the challenge is to adapt to these dynamics. So most industry experts are saying that 75% of surveyed companies are struggling to adapt in this rapidly changing digital commerce landscape. What is not wondering, right? Because it's becoming and increasing and becoming more and more complex. And because of this, we see this. That we see clearly a lack of speed of organizations into this digital commerce landscape. Because organizations get stuck. We see limitations, we see old legacy platforms, closed platforms that simply, don't give you the possibility to adapt quickly. Or a lot of companies running on a technology that is simply designed for only one single business model, or at least giving the complexity back to the customer. And this is why we at Shopware believe in openness as the best business model to give you the choice. Because we know real choice matters. The ability to adapt is the most capable and valuable capability you can have. It's the most important one. And I'm pretty sure there's not this one fits all and one to rule them all approach in the digital commerce. That's simply not true. If someone is telling you this is not true, you need to have the choice. You need to do it. I mean, there's not this one single feature, not this one single payment, not this one single cloud hosting, not this hosting provider. You need to have the choice and you need to be able to try out different models, different features, different payments, and test it, adapt it rapidly. And this is where we see Shopware, especially as an open commerce ecosystem, in the mid-market sweet spot, and why we believe in openness, in community building, so that you never get stuck. Supporting your business model needs, be it B2C, B2B, D2C, blended, whatever. This is what we call, it's your freedom of choice. And it's your freedom to grow. It's always your data. It's your customer. It's your hosting decision. It's your payment. It's your business. And the best is, as I started in my keynote, come on, you're not alone. I mean, we are here together as a community, as I started, in an open and honest and transparent way. All right, but now, let's talk about the product. And I'm excited to show you now new features, or at least not me, my colleagues, new features and updates that we have with Shopware today with us. And therefore, please join me in a huge applause. And I would like now to hand over to Vanessa.
Thank you, Sebastian. Hi and welcome everyone. I'm excited to be here today. As Sebastian elaborated, Shopware is here to help you grow in both business models, B2C and B2B. And what I'll do now is focus on the latter and tell you what we're aiming for in the B2B area. But everyone who's not doing B2B should still listen, because I promise lots of things are gonna sound familiar to you. We see two major developments how merchants will do online shopping. So having the ability to shop online without the need of a personal consultation is a self-service buying experience. This has also strong influence coming from the B2C market. And second, you may want to have a more tailored experience, so closing a knowledge gap here, which is an assisted buying experience. What's in it for you here is you get to really deeply understand how your customer really works. Now, let me show you what I mean in more depth. There are different touch points that need to be taken into consideration. So may it be that a customer is shopping while sitting at his desk, or directly at a place where the product is needed, so at a construction site, for example. Or you can do a purchase with a personal consultation that is done via phone or in a remote session, and this is possible with our digital sales room solution, by the way. Or you are in a showroom and looking at an additional digital screen to have an advanced product catalog. If those are the main trends we see in B2B businesses, let's take a look back from where B2B sales is coming from. The traditional way of selling in B2B is very much dependent on personal relationships and meetings in person. But do you really want to spend half of your life in a car? Or do you really want to pay your employees traveling from country to country? I would say yes and no. So every key customer should definitely still be a road trip because building this strong connection and bond is key. But for the most others, it's just not worth it for both parties because there are now more engaging ways how to interact more frequently and still offering this tailored experience, tailored quotes to their specific needs. And not very surprisingly, B2B buyers are just humans. So the importance of all of those shifts I just talked about is backed up by McKinsey, who see that B2B customers percept and expect that a digital vendor experience is as important as the product's price itself, and they determine whether somebody buys from you or not. So we know we need to go from having this traditional way of selling to being more flexible in touch points and becoming more digital. But how do we actually get there? What are the obstacles? Most B2B vendors have to deal with a lack of human resources so that they can scale up in their regions. And they also have manual processes where they're dependent on different distributed systems. And in the end, this slows down their sales opportunities. So up to this point, we've now discussed the general market dynamics. Let's now delve into the details how Shopware is addressing them. We started developing the B2B components last year, and now it's time to reflect back and see what progress we made here. We built the B2B components with the mission of having a product set that is cloud native, but still leaves room and flexibility to choose a distribution model. They should be easily adopted with Shopware functionalities such as the rule and flow builder. And lastly, we wanted to give merchants the freedom to choose only the functionality that they really need without binding them to any bundles. So we wanted to give merchants more flexibility while reducing the complexity in B2B operations, because complex projects, and hence expensive ones, are still a reality in a lot of B2B projects. And by only picking the components you need, you reduce your update risks, your project timelines are shortened, and your costs as well. So this, in the end, gives you the freedom and flexibility to try out new things and adapt to change quicker. So this is our B2B feature landscape at the moment. And as you can see, lots of things to cover here on this slide, which I'm not going to do because this is obviously just a keynote. But we will have a more in-depth talk later from my colleagues Timo and Matthias. So I really urge you to watch that as well. Lots of the features that you just saw are already shipped. I'm pretty sure quite a few here know already what they do. And 2 of them are coming soon. Both of them actually also being of profit for B2C merchants. So the current state is this. It's looking quite good. Most of it is already shipped, and 2 of them are in active development. Now, let's quickly jump back to this blending that Sebastian mentioned before of both of the business models. So, as he said, we really believe that you're not gonna just put the B2C experience and make a B2B component out of it, but we really want to thoroughly understand what B2B operations need here. So Shopware has a long history in this field with its B2B suite, with lots of knowledgeable and capable merchants, lots of them being here today, I'm sure. And we had those good talks where I think we managed to really isolate the functionalities that we are needing here. So I will show you what I mean with one specific feature as an example, but before I want to give you a bit of context around why we developed this in the first place. So in the current era of B2B commerce, there are 2 things that can be challenging for a company that we see. First, you have to integrate a modern commerce platform like Shopware into your existing business processes. And then you also have your employees who need to adopt their processes to it and actually take advantage of the new platform that is provided to them. So this is the context. You first have to integrate your processes into the platform, and then getting people to actually use what you've provided to them. And to be honest, we made that very easy now. So let me introduce you to our new sales agent releasing very soon. This is something that B2C can use with their service agents as well. So I'll now demonstrate a workflow how a sales agent might use this feature. Picture a sales agent sitting at a desk and jumping onto a call with a customer. The customer wants to negotiate a bit on the price and finally also get the product as soon as possible. So the sales agent can simply log in with his company profile account and can search for the customer. And if you're searching for customers here, you can also see the specific pricing rules that apply to them. Once that is clear, we can start searching for the products we need. So you can clarify anything that might be discussed during that conversation. You can adjust the quantities as needed. And remember that the customer wanted to negotiate on the price a bit. You can do that, and then once you've agreed upon a price, just adopt it right here and there. And finally, make the purchase. So in the end, both parties got what they wanted. The sales agent sold something, and the customer receives the product. The sales agent functionality offers a tailored custom user interface for your salespeople. So you can build it and customize it as your sales agents need it so that they can work as efficient as possible, and the adoption is also guaranteed here. So this is possible because it's based on composable front ends. And other than composable front ends, as you might know it though, this is a complete turnkey solution, so you can use it as it is. And as it is a headless front end, you can also integrate different data sources into it. So for example, from an ERP or a CRM system. In a B2B context, that's usually very helpful when talking about a price metrics. And we are planning to develop the sales agent further as well. So let me give you an outlook on that. We will gather more data insights for all your customer journeys. And why? Because you know how it is. As a salesperson, you want to increase the conversion rate. You start with the painful act of going to the CRM system, search for associations, then switching the system, maybe to the ERP, search for the correct pricing, then figuring out how you applied the different pricings to the quotes, and lastly, you still need to figure out how to approach the merchant in the first place. And what we're aiming for with the B2B analytics here is to have this as easy, approachable as possible, so forecast preparation for the sales agent. And this also helps keep them track of their customers' behavior and maybe also giving them little hints about potential action steps here and there. To sum this up, With the sales agent, we help to digitalize the work of your sales agents. We also increase their productivity, and we will provide an analysis of buyer journeys for them in the future. So, what you should take away from all of this is Shopware is continuing to heavily invest in improving B2B capabilities. We're listening to you, we want you to have a pleasant experience with our software, and we want you to have the right tools for when you need them. And the sales agent functionality is just one example. What we're aiming for, and I think achieving in a lot of cases already, is building a connected B2B experience. Because all of those different ways of shopping should be unified in the end. And with that, I'd like to hand over back to Sebastian. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vanessa, for the great outlook and insights about our B2B space and B2B capabilities. So, as we already talked about, Shopware is a flexible platform for sophisticated B2C and B2B business models. So while we can see where the B2B motion is heading to, I would like to take you with me to a journey into the evolution of commerce. Let's look back. As we founded the company back in 2000, it was mainly about the era of digital foundations. Probably you can remember, or some of you, it was mainly about bringing all your catalog data online, right? And we saw the rise of the marketplaces like Amazon and eBay. In 2010, this was clearly the era of social media and mobile shopping. It was the social media revolution, and it was a breakthrough in mobile shopping, as we all experienced in the market. And now starting since 2020, we see a rise of a new era. Two major technologies that will undoubtedly change the industry. What might it be? Guess what? You all know that, I'm pretty sure. It's the rise of spatial computing and artificial intelligence. Spatial and AI are two technologies that will make digital shopping more human and more natural. Augmented, immersive, and realistic 3D combined with AI that understands you, your behavior, your needs, and can predict. This will be more human. This will make digital shopping more interactive and more engaging. And with the introduction of spatial computing and AI, we see innovation cycles dramatically shortening. So what used to take years to achieve significant advancements, we now discuss in terms of 10x faster innovation cycles. These technologies are evolving quickly with new developments practically every day. Probably some of you already saw, the OpenAI Keynote with ChatGPT 4.0 or the Google I/O with the project Astra. I mean, every day you can nearly see in the market new developments happening. This means that in the same time it once took to make a major breakthrough, we now experience 10 times more innovations. 10 times more innovations. And this acceleration will transform the business models and will revolutionize customer experiences in ways that were simply unimaginable just a few years ago. And it's also clear that many B2C and B2B companies are just, struggling by having, or at least achieving the first challenges like digital foundation, get everything digitalized and online. The good news is that also these technologies will support you and accelerate this process of digitalization, also on this side. But now, let's have an outlook into the future. How will commerce look like in the next 5 or 10 years? Can you imagine? So we at Shopware are seeing digital commerce in the future happening in two major buckets. The first is an assistant-led commerce, and the second bucket is an experience-led commerce. Assistant-led commerce and experience-led commerce. I'm pretty sure every one of us will become, in a way, a kind of personal assistant who understands you, your needs, your behavior, and will support you. And on the other side, in this world, experiences will become the most important factor in digital commerce. Let's get into it. Assistant-led commerce means that rational buying decisions will be nearly completely automated and done by machines. Things like everyday items, non-emotional goods, B2B quoting, B2B negotiations, service chats, and so much more. And probably you already saw, Project Astra or something like that, the assistant, the Outlook from OpenAI with ChatGPT 4.0 and so on. This was really impressive, right? And in this world where everything gets more and more automated and done by machines, experiences will be, again, the most important factor in digital commerce. Highly interactive, inspirational, and engaging shopping experiences that sticks in the mind of the customer. For example, for more emotional and for more complex products. Interactive storytelling, where you can combine and add gamification approaches into it with AR and VR, user-generated content, or B2B assisted buyer journeys, more experience-driven. And to simplify it, it ultimately means, first, commerce, where you save time by personal assistance, and second, where you spend your time for entertaining, engaging, and emotional experiences. Very simple said. Coming back to the evolution of commerce and looking now forward to the journey that is ahead of us, the exciting journey. Because we want you to leverage the potential of spatial computing and artificial intelligence right at the beginning. And this is also the reason why we at Shopware invested very early on into these technologies, so that you can integrate and use these technologies immediately. We want you today to use it. Don't wait for it. You can start and experiment with it already today to stand out of the crowd, to be ahead of the game. And think about this. You want to build a really high-level shopping experience? For sure you want, right? Everyone wants to build a high-level shopping experience. Or you want to ensure business excellence, excellence in your commerce operations and flows, increase your efficiency? Sure you want that. And this is how it usually works, and I'm pretty sure everyone in the room here knows it very well, right? So you go and start briefing your crew, your partner, your agency, or whatever, right? And you have the goal inside. This is the great shopping experience I want to achieve. This is the business excellence, right? Make it more efficient. Yeah, let's do it. And then, after you have kicked off the project, you probably have some additional, feedback loops and circles and rebriefings and so on and so forth. So far, so good. And then you're done, and you achieved it. Great. This can be, as we all know, very time-consuming, and for sure, it can be cost-intensive, as you need human capacity for it. You need human capacity for it to do it. It can cost 100K or even more. We all know that, we all experienced it. So, with Spatial and AI, to simplify it, it's just a click. And costs you just a few euros or dollars. And I know I'm oversimplifying, I know that, right? But my main point is, this is a fundamental shift in the unit economics in the whole industry. So, it's significantly faster, it's low cost, and it's high quality. And it's now, you can say, democratized. I mean, Think about it for a moment back then. Just a few years ago, if you would like to use these technologies, spatial computing and artificial intelligence, it would cost you all an incredible amount of investment budget you have to enchain. Now it's affordable and ready to use for everyone here in the room today. You can use it today. And as I already said, the development rate of innovation driven by AI and spatial computing is exponential, progressing at a pace 10 times faster than anything every one of us experienced before. And I know this to be true, looking back now to 24 years of history in digital commerce landscape as I founded Shopware. So again, we are investing a lot in these technologies so that you can use it, as we all know. We want that you can participate in the future where the revolutionizing future and change of digital commerce will happening in an assistant-led motion and also in an experience-led commerce motion. So that being said, this was a lot, but now let's go into the topic AI, and therefore it's my pleasure to hand over to Julia. Applause for Julia.
Thank you, Sebastian, and hello from my side. Last year in May, we introduced our AI Copilot. Since the release, we have already shipped 11 AI features. These features have been created to support you with efficient possibilities. AI Copilot is your new best friend for automating workflows. I'm excited to share an overview of all our already released features. Features like AI-generated content for shopping experiences, the product review summary, image keyword assistant, or the expert assistant. These features drive automation and process optimization in several areas. Our last feature releases are all about improving customer experience. Search by context and search by image are search game changers. Let's explore these together. But first, listen up. Hey Siri, what is your job?
I'm a virtual assistant. That means I get to help people and talk to you. It's a pretty great gig.
All right, that doesn't surprise me. Interacting with virtual assistants like Siri or Alexa has become a standard part of our daily life. But the main point is, I'm talking in my natural language. I can ask something and I get an answer. How can we include that in our e-commerce system? We'll give you now the opportunity with search by context. With this feature, users can typing in natural language. In this shop, I would like to know which products I could order for a breakfast on a Sunday morning with the family. The AI evaluates the relationship between the sales channel context and the search query. The outcome will be shown in 3 product sliders. One nice result for me personally, as in this example, organic coffee beans. This shop also displayed prompt examples. These examples are configurable and support customers while interacting with this new search. However, you can use them differently, such as promoting niche categories or products for a special season. It's up to you, but this search will drive solutions. Let's look into the details. The search can be used on any device, as you can see on the mobile screen. It works in combination with other existing search solutions. Because of the context, it leads to perfect cross-sellings. And there is no data transfer. We created a special prompt that combines the request and the context of the sales channel. This new way of searching will completely change our behavior. We could rename this action from searching to discovering. And this is a keyword to move on. Do you ever stumble about something exciting and you want to capture the moment? Or to share a food picture, that's my favorite. Nearly everyone has a good smartphone and a good camera. How could we use this in our e-commerce? The next use case I'll show you is amazing. This feature is called Search by Image. In this example, I'm using an iPad. So I'm at home, and I need more screws to build up a new shelf. I open my favorite construction brand store, and I want to identify this screw. I take a photo of the screw and uploaded it directly into this door. The AI evaluates then the context of the image. Yeah, and the results are nearly fantastic. I get the screw I need and recommendations that match the topic. Usually, I would use need exact name of the screw I search for. Or I would take the screw and drive to the next DIY store and ask someone there. Great news. This is now a thing of a past. Let's look into the power details. This is a 100% brand support feature. On the mobile screen, you can see an example in a fashion store. So I took a screenshot from social media, and I want to buy this clothing in my favorite brand shop. The material and style of the image will be considered. Depending on that, it led to perfect cross-sellings. This new search experience is so good. Try this out. Okay, I introduced the latest AI Copilot features, search by context and search by image, to improve the customer experience. I have some amazing news to share with you. I'm thrilled to announce that we have a brand new feature available now. This feature is called text to image. With text to image, you can create new mood pictures or create backgrounds for your shopping experiences. Okay, the topic is well known, but having this in our administration is seamless. Let's look into the feature together. The feature is located in a media module, and I would like to generate an image with the prompt minimalistic, blurry, light blue landscape. The generation time depends on various factors, the length of the prompt, the speed of your internet connection, or the service itself. If you are happy with the result, you can save it or generate directly a new one. Your image is stored in a separate media folder and ready to use. I've created another example. I would like to have a new highlight banner for the grill season. I have the product image and, of course, the generated text with the AI Copilot. With text to image, I can easily create a background image. And here is the result. Ooh, that looks fire, right? Barbecue season can start. I sum it up. There's a quick access in the shopping experiences, as you can see in the mobile screens. The feature will be open in your new tab, and you can continue working while creating new pictures. This approach creates content for holidays or special offer weeks effortless. The overall goal is to build unique shopping experiences. So go ahead and have fun unlocking your creativity. We have 12 AI Copilot features that are ready to use, and more will follow, so stay tuned. Don't hesitate to reach out to me today. I have a demo prepared in my pocket to show you the features in action. And that's all from me. Now it's Sebastian's turn to take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia, for the great insights into the latest AI feature and AI Copilot features we have already. So now I'm minimum as excited to talk about AI. I will talk about spatial computing. And most industry experts believe spatial computing will become very soon a new multi-billion-dollar market, and will increase incredibly the customer experience in total new ways and dimensions. Is here someone in the room who can remember this product, the very, very first version back then in 2012 of the Oculus Rift Developer Kit version 1? Please raise your hand. Someone here? Oh wow, this is a lot. I could imagine some of you would also be at the Shopware Community Day, as we had there, a demo equipped. But look, I remember the day, if I were, going and coming into my office. It was the old Shopware headquarters back then. It was a sunny, shiny day outside. I was coming, and then this guy there was waiting for me in my office. Yeah, my lovely brother. You know them all. And he went, Sebastian, I have a present for you. I was, what do you want from me? Why are you in my office? Shut up. Don't, please take this device. And he put it onto my head. And I was, what are you doing here? And he immediately started this demo. Right? Yeah, I was in a roller coaster. And as you can imagine, my body get really like, whoa, what's that? You feel dizzy. And what it makes me exciting about the complete spatial computing space, because you can experience new ways of how you can interact with technologies, because it activates more human senses, a complete new dimension of experience. So we were starting and trying out a lot of different things with the development kit and so on. For example, we built a 3D store in Shopware with the very first Oculus Rift. We were for sure trying out this IKEA kitchen planner, as you can imagine or remember. We tried 3D scanning, virtual try-ons, virtual spaces and worlds, and so on and so forth and so on. Some of you who can remember Shopware Community Days back then probably also tested it and can remember. So, however, my point is, what was in the beginning very experimental in gaming is now becoming more and more precise in use cases, in relevant use cases, and creates impact for B2C and for B2B business. Values for shoppers and merchants. And here are some recent examples of the Shopware space, some Shopware customers who are already using spatial computer technologies. Let's look into B2C, for example. We have customers using 3D visualizations to show products more in detail. For example, here you can customize and configure the product. It's a ring, right? Now it's a Shopware ring, as you can see. And the cool thing is you can now see and experience how it will look like before you purchase. Or using AR, augmented reality, the Shopware feature, to place furnitures, for example, in this case, in your room, this lounge chair, as we all, probably most of us already experience and know, to get a better understanding if it fits into my room, or see how a glass is looking at your head, for example. You choose your sunglass here, and in this case, my colleague Sebastian, who's also sitting here, tried it, and probably, as you can see, we can figure out if he really bought this glass, right? We have in B2B use cases where you can configure industry products, or in the machine space, where you can see while you configure it and discover the industry product from every angle and thing, and it gets re-rendered after you configure it, right? To get a really better understanding about the product, about the details you want to see as you configure this complex product or machine. You can use these 3D features also in assisted buyer journeys, for example, to interact, to co-browse and do it together with your customer. Or in the electronic space, discover electronic interfaces from every angle, from every perspective, to see more the cartridges and the platines, more details in real time, while you're getting more information to specific views, for example. This is all possible. And this has a real business impact at scale. For example, virtual try-ons, home try-ons, 3D product visualizations can dramatically reduce the returns. As you get a better realistic view how the product fits to you, and therefore it will decrease the costs. It led to a unique customer and shopping experience. It's a strong USP for you. You can stand out of the crowd, be ahead of the game, and you are able to expand your sample products, your variant products, for example. Do you have a retail store? You probably don't have the possibility to have everything in stock and to show. No problem. You can also have virtual 3D realistic samples there. Show the products in all variants, colors, sizes, whatever it might be. You don't need to have all the different variants and products in your stock. This is a very strong benefit. And this is just the beginning. The physical world and the digital world are becoming more and more blended and together. And this is why we made the Shopware core, how we call it, spatial native. And let's learn more about it, what it means, and therefore I would like to hand over to Marie.
Yeah, thanks, Sebastian. And yes, the connection between digital and physical also got me really hooked when I recently tried out the Apple Vision Pro. And what you can see here is me trying out our already released 3D viewer. So without any further ado from us, I could drag the coffee machine out of the browser and place it in our office kitchen. And I think it really looks great, right? I secretly hope that Sebastian is now convinced as I am to buy this coffee machine for our office. And I'm showing you this to make clear that we are spatial native. So all of our spatial features are based on open web standards and therefore work out of the box with all future devices like the Apple Vision Pro, the Meta Quest, and everything what to come. With that open basis, we see the spatial and AI movement as a foundation for you, for the community, for you as contributors to build applications on top of Shopware as a spatial native commerce framework. And as I already mentioned, we offer out-of-the-box features like the 3D viewer to create spatial experiences that you can try out already today. And I will show you all of them in detail in a second. But before that, for sure, many of you just ask yourself, how do I even get 3D data of my products? And I have 3 answers of that, how you could approach this as of today. First, build upon what you already have. I know that many product manufacturing processes already start in some kind of 3D. For example, in B2B, when you build complex machines, you often work with file types like CAD. Also in fashion, I've talked to many customers that told me they designed their clothes and the item in a 3D software before actually manufacturing it. And this is a really good starting point to transfer this into web-ready models that you can then use in your store, together with some support of a 3D artist or a partner. We also plan to develop more native integrations for these cases in future. Second, get started with external toolings that are already out there. AI-driven apps like Luma Labs or Polycam, for example, offer really easy and simple ways to generate 3D data in just a few seconds. For example, by scanning it with your phone, working around it, or uploading 10 pictures and then getting a 3D model back. These results might not be in quality good enough for your whole store, but it's a really good starting point to just try out our spatial features and get started with some interactivity in your store. Third, benefit from our ecosystem like our partner Room. The team from Room is an expert in this area, specialized in creating 3D experiences and can support you in many, many ways to create really high-quality 3D data of your products. Some of the Room people are also out there today in the Shopware area, so make sure to reach out to them if you have questions on how to create 3D data. All right, but now let's dive into the product. So last year, we started off with spatial commerce by doing lots of experiments, building proof of concepts and testing them with customers to identify what is really relevant and what are the first steps we need to take in this still very innovative topic. Based on this, we defined 3 milestones we needed to build first. The capabilities for Shopware to handle 3D data in general, a new blog for the shopping experiences, and a scene editor. Let me guide you through them. The first release in January were the basic 3D and AR capabilities. Let me show you what that means for Shopware. So with this, you can now simply upload your 3D data as a GLB file to the Media Manager, just like with any other file type. Once that is uploaded, you can choose if you also want to activate augmented reality specifically for that product or not. With that file, you can then just go ahead, assign it to a product as you do with any other media. In the storefront, it looks like this then for your customer. They can interact with your product in a 3D viewer. They can zoom in, rotate, and interact with it, which is extremely helpful to get a better understanding of the product, especially when you sell complex products with lots of tiny details. From there, they can also open the product in augmented reality if it's activated, to place the product onto their personal space. This really helps making a buying decision, as I know how the product fits into my kitchen, how the proportions are, and how it looks in my interior. This can be a huge factor of eliminating high return rates, as this reduces the chance of the product being too big or too small to a minimum. In addition to the basic capabilities, we also added the 3D viewer to the shopping experiences, just to make it possible for you to place it on other places of your store. So when entering the shopping experiences, you'll now find a new block category called 3D, where we'll also add all the upcoming spatial blocks. The 3D viewer can be then easily placed onto every layout type if it's category pages, product pages, or landing pages. For your customer, this really nicely breaks up the often quite flat two-dimensional shopping experiences, as it's just a nice element to add some interaction and get your customers' attention. The third milestone we wanted to make is a scene editor. The idea of it is to not only use your 3D model for viewing it in 3D and AR, we want you to leverage the full potential of your data once you have it. And as it's still under development, let me just quickly explain you the idea of it. With the scene editor, you can just go ahead, set your product into different scenes, and create several images from it. And we all know everything depends on good images, right? And currently, therefore, you have to organize a photo shoot, somehow get all your chairs, in this example, to a photo studio, furnish that scene, getting that product picture shot, but then you're only getting a bunch of product pictures, which you then have to work with months or maybe even years Just imagine you set your chair in a winter landscape, but now it's spring, or pink is not trendy anymore, and your customers are now attracted to yellow. Or worse, your product has just changed. You are not really able to adapt to that quickly. With 3D, you can update the content whenever you need and create content that is appealing to your audience and is 100% matching to your shop. We will release a small feature set of the scene editor already next month. With that, for example, you could already prepare your images for the next Black Week campaign. Set your product onto the canvas, some black lightnings, some different camera angles, and then render out images that you need for that campaign. And I really want to shape that feature together with you. Therefore, we will release it as a blueprint that you then can activate via the insider previews. And please don't hesitate, reach out to me during this day and tell me what you think about this idea, because I'm excited to shape the first milestone with you together. All right, to sum it up, all of these spatial features are out of the box available for you to make the first steps towards a more immersive shopping experience. And today, we'd like to introduce also a very special new feature to our spatial capabilities. Let me show you.
Introducing Immersive Elements, a Shopware app that lets you add beautifully crafted elements to your e-commerce store. You can now tell captivating stories using 3D models, galleries, and videos without the need for hiring developers or agencies. With Immersive Elements, it's as easy as finding the element that you want and drag it into your shopping experience. Use a 3D model journey to create interactive tours with hotspots, VR Cinema to present you videos in panorama, or a depth gallery to provide a literal deep dive into your products. When you're done customizing and hit save, you have a modern, professional-looking website that works on mobile, desktop, and get this, VR. Find Immersive Elements on the Shopware store and start offering engaging, immersive experiences to your customers today.
Introducing the app Immersive Elements, for which development we collaborated with Instorier. And for that, I'd like to welcome Daniel on stage, the co-founder of Instorier, who will explain it to you in detail. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. 2 years ago, on a freezing March afternoon, we received a message from a mystery man on Instagram that would create a ripple effect, eventually leading up to this moment. His name was Stefan, and his message was a simple one. Hi, would like to get in touch. Being no strangers to the internet, we of course thought this was just a spam bot, but we soon learned that both he and his brother Sebastian were not only real, but outstanding human beings, and that their passion for storytelling and eagerness to always be looking forward perfectly aligned with our own. My name is Daniel, and I'm the CEO of Instorier, a no-code tool for creating wonderful digital experiences. In the future, with consumers having nearly unlimited choice in products, the most successful merchants will be the ones that manage to stand out from the crowd. This is why we believe that the future of e-commerce is emotional experiences, especially considering that emotion is what drives connection with products and brands, and is already a differentiating factor in terms of building trust and engagement. And the best way to evoke emotion is by telling stories. Humans are storytelling creatures and have been for thousands of years. Our challenge right now is to figure out how to best deliver stories in 2024 and beyond. But creating engaging e-commerce experiences is labor-intensive and expensive because most merchants lack the in-house expertise required, which means that the most memorable experiences are out of reach for many. Shopware creates the tools that prepare merchants for the future, which is why we've partnered up with them to help bridge the gap between traditional templates and bespoke agency quality with our new app for experience-driven spatial commerce, Immersive Elements. With Immersive Elements, the future is closer than you think, and spatial commerce more accessible than ever. Merchants can now easily create experience-driven product pages themselves, and better yet, Immersive Elements is included in Evolve, Rise, and beyond. With Immersive Elements, Shopware becomes the first CMS in the world with the capabilities to create pages that can seamlessly flow from a traditional 2D website to a fully immersive VR experience. But the best part? Immersive Elements went live on the Shopware store this morning at 7. And I have to give a huge shout out to Shopware for the amazing extensibility that has allowed us to develop this app in only a couple of months' time. With great developer documentation and developers that have been quick to help, this process has been a breeze. Come visit us later at the Immersive Elements booth and experience firsthand how your e-commerce store can look like in VR with a hero experience we created together with YT Industries. Now, I'll hand it back over to Sebastian. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel and Marie, for the great insights and our new spatial features. Yes, as we can clearly see, it's the rise of spatial and AI. So we have already 12 integrated AI Copilot features, and we have 8 spatial features are available today to improve your efficiency and to start innovating now. And there is a quote from a recent Wall Street Journal interview about customer experience from Howard Schultz, founder and former CEO of Starbucks. And he said, "Through it all, focus on being experimental, not transactional." And I really like this, and I think this is matching very well with everything we can now experience in the new era of spatial and AI computing. All right, I think this was a great run-through of what we're working on and what we can already deliver. And as I started in my keynote, it's all about the people. It's the Shopware community. It's the we as one, all together for the better. One community. And to sum it up, the keynote and my presentation, the main focus areas of Shopware are first, to connect and to grow Shopware community and the ecosystem. It's great to see strong growth. More and more people are joining, and the engaging and interactivity of the Shopware community, strong analyst recognition, more Shopware everywhere. Secondly, the key focus of Shopware is to support you in conquering the B2B space with the purpose and the understanding of B2B, a super strong partner landscape, and our B2B components and the new sales agent tooling for a unified and for a connected B2B experience. And we want you to leverage spatial and AI technologies already today to improve your efficiency and also to start innovating and stand out of the crowd. In behalf of the rest of the crew, thank you very much, and let's get into exchange. Thank you.